On today's show, we're discussing digital communication with your spouse.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
Sometimes it's very easy to read into meaning and tone via text message. We're going to talk about it and give you some tips.
Hey there, welcome to Coffee with Chris and Meg, where we talk about life and love from a practical, biblical, and fun perspective. I particularly am very excited to jump in this conversation. As Chris Ria has recently discovered sticker replies to texts.
Just
have you guys
load
seen
up the text
with
iOS stickers.
Update.
It's amazing.
I sent you something and I was like, piano sticker, drums, French fries, flip-flop. I'm like, what is happening right now?
Brilliant way to communicate.
Oh my gosh.
Have you ever sent a text message to your spouse or anyone, but particularly your spouse, and then the minute you send it, you're like, uh-oh, should I have worded that differently? Are they going to understand what I was saying? Are they going to take that the wrong way? Or you receive a message from your spouse going, wait a minute, what's going on with this person right now?
I sent you like a long, beautiful text and I got a K. K? Not an okay? Not an okay exclamation? Not like an okay heart? K. What am I supposed to do with that?
We've We've complicated the world of communication digitally. So let's unpack that. So let's talk about why the digital communication gets so messy.
We need to unpack this.
I want to say first is because of the emoji. The emoji is a problem.
I love emojis. I love a good emoji.
But it's like I have to dissect a whole new language with emoji. Emoji, you have to speak emoji now.
But why is it hard to speak emoji?
Like,
it basically says it for you.
Like, you know, someone help me out here, where you get a whole message in emojis.
No, I do not do this though to you.
But people do, and you're supposed to dissect this like we're reading hieroglyphics or something, going back to Egyptian times. I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. Just text me words.
What about when you get an emoji reply that like doesn't fit the conversation?
Oh my God.
Right? Like it's a sad thing and somebody sends you like the laughing emoji with a tear, like they're laughing so hard and you're like, no, this is sad. You misunderstood. Or like you send them something really heartfelt and you get like a taco and you're not really sure what to do with that.
I was watching the other day, someone sent, it was like a group text, and someone accidentally disliked a person's response instead of liked it. That's got to send your mind going in different directions.
Relationships have been severed over less things, you know?
So especially if you're a boomer, you need to hear this. You need to understand proper emoji placements.
Yes. And you need to understand that some emojis don't mean what you think they mean.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Another thing that can be frustrating with digital communication is autocorrect.
Oh my gosh.
Oops, I said that without double checking.
It can come up with the most random things. You're like, I've never said that to you in my life, keyboard. Where did you come up with that thing?
How about accidentally sending a text to the wrong recipient?
Why are you bringing this up?
Like you accidentally sent it into a group.
Oh,
like
okay.
You send a text that's supposed to be personal to your spouse, but you accidentally send it to a group of people on accident, or to the wrong Megan or Chris in your contact list.
Yeah.
What about that?
That has been a thing I have been guilty of, and I think I'm going to tell you all about that moment. One of my most embarrassing moments in the world. If you stay tuned.
Another thing that can be tricky with communication is like the delayed reaction.
Oh,
right? When you get people who text you, they want a response right away.
Of course.
And you might be in a meeting or at work. You get the delayed response.
Yeah.
Or you see that it's been read, but there's no reply for a long time.
No, I have a friend that does this, but she does it well. Like sometimes she'll like my response and she won't say anything. But at least I know like she got it, right? Okay. She's in a meeting, like she can't reply to it, but yeah, like if you need something right away. But I think that's on us too, right? Like we need to be a little bit more patient with people. Maybe they can't get back to us right away.
Yeah, sometimes I expect a response from you right away. I want it now.
Most of the time. This is how it goes down, if we're honest.
But I do understand that there can be delayed response. I think the best is when, you don't respond for a day or two to a text, and then it's like some random response.
You get it, and you're like, what is she talking about? Oh, that's actually a reply to what I said 72 hours ago. Cool, great.
How about when people use funny things in their text message, like all caps?
Oh, guys, we need to talk about all caps. All caps, it's very aggressive.
It means you're yelling.
You're yelling.
I'm not yelling. Am I yelling?
Okay, the best. When we were youth pastors, I counseled a girl, and she's like, we got in the worst fight last night. We were just yelling at each other. She was talking about her and her girlfriend. I'm like, well, what was happening? We were texting in all caps. And guys, she was serious. Like, there was a text conversation in all caps between two people, and she was like deeply hurt over this fight.
Yeah.
It's real.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
What about sending voice memos?
Okay.
Or like audio texts?
Let's go there.
Because this is like a new thing.
Yeah.
Like instead of just texting it out, you record like a 2 to 3 minute message and send it on its way.
Mm-hmm. I do like this sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I think it's great when you're trying to get a lot of information out there. I think you can definitely hear somebody's tone when you talk about that,
true.
right? And it's great if you're driving or something too. You can send this text and you don't have to be looking down. But what can be problematic is if you're sending your friends like 9-minute voice memos. And like expecting them to carve out time to listen to your podcast and then reply. That, just think before you audio, text.
Oh, man.
So another thing that can be misconstrued while texting your significant other or even friends is punctuation.
Ooh.
Like people using the wrong punctuation.
Yes.
We're trying to do something, put in an exclamation point. Well, are you mad?
Are you mad? Are you excited? Or like, that sounds great, period. Is it great to you? I don't know. There needs to be like something in there.
So someone texted me the other day, and I was getting ready to speak on Easter Sunday. It's like a big deal for me at church. And they put, you're ready for Sunday, question mark, question mark, question mark.
Oh,
and I'm like, are you saying like encouraging me that I'm ready for Sunday, or are you asking me if I'm ready? So I'm like, I think I'm pretty ready. I think I'm ready. Okay, you've got this, question mark, question mark, question mark. Wait, are you asking me if I've got this, or are you telling me I've got this?
You're like, stop placing doubt in my mind right now. I thought it was okay, but then there were so many question marks.
And so then
I'm making me insecure.
I respond with like, hey, I've studied, I put the time in, I'm excited, I think it's gonna be good. And he's like, oh no, I know that you've got this.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, the question marks were very confusing. And he started laughing like an LOL. I could see how you would think that. But it's like, why are you putting question marks in statements? It's confusing.
Your text is causing insecurity in me. Your punctuation. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Something you can't stand
Oh,
too
no,
is
here we
when
go.
I don't say, hey babe, good afternoon, or hey, how's it going? I just
You jump right in.
Question.
It's so abrupt.
What are we having for dinner?
Yeah, no, I'm usually like, hi honey, I love you, how's your day, blah, 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 here's my question. You're like, very direct, this one.
Did you upload the video to YouTube?
Well, I will say, like, I know you so well, right? But I think when it comes to other conversations with people, like, if you're that abrupt with, like, everybody, it's going to rub people the wrong way.
Well, that's where...
Do you do that with everybody?
I did,
Yes.
and I've been accused of people thinking I'm short or not happy with them with my text. So ChatGPT does help me with this because I'll craft a response and then I'll say, make this sound a little nicer, and then boom, it does.
Look at you.
How beautiful is that?
Look at you.
But sometimes you just got to get it done.
Well, I think, it's a two-way street, right? Like, you want to be more aware of how it can come across, but then the recipient can always give you the benefit of the doubt too.
Well, let me ask you this. What is an appropriate amount of time when someone sends a text message and then they can see you've read it, but you haven't responded?
I think this is a good place to do the like. You know, you can like attack.
I can see that you've read the text.
Or if it's like, if you really do need time to think about it, you can do a, hey, got your text, give me, so-and-so amount of time to get back to you about it, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not great about that, though. Like, I have a limit. Like, I will either text you back right away, or it may be 3 days. I'm so sorry. But I think that's the reality of it sometimes. I'm not ghosting people, but like, how many times have you checked a text when you're not in a position to like get back, right? And you're like, oh, I will get back to this person
and
after that meeting, and then you just totally forget.
We're gonna give people the benefit of the doubt here.
I've done that for sure.
And how about when you see the little bubbles going and they stop?
Oh, that's stressful.
And the little bubbles and they stop.
That's so stressful. You're
Bubbles.
like,
Stop.
why? But why couldn't you send it? Like, what's wrong?
Is everything okay?
Everything's okay.
So those are some kind of fun ones you can play around with, but there's some serious conflict that can occur and hurt that comes like arguing via text. Is this okay? Like if you are with your spouse, and is it better to just talk things out, or like is fighting via text message a good thing?
Isn't it interesting? Like 20 years ago, this wasn't even a thing, and now we really have to talk about the different modes which we can now have disagreements on. I think there's been times, we'll take a personal example, there's been times that if we're really heated, right, and we're away, like say we get in an argument in the morning or something, and we pause, we take a moment, but then like later on in the day, there might be like a simple apology, something, I love you, I'm thinking about you, let's talk more tonight. And I think that something like that really softens the atmosphere like between us, right? To like come in and approach a conversation. But I think that
it's age too, though.
Yeah.
Like age,
that's true.
I mean, 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, this is normal. They're just, they break up with each other. They have fights via.
Don't do that.
They have fights via text message. I'm like, they're telling me we were yelling at each other. I'm like, you're yelling at each other? Just like you said. All caps.
All caps. Lots of exclamation points.
So
the red ones.
Because things can get misconstrued with texting. And you can always go back and reread a text so it lives forever. We would suggest not arguing over text, but actually saying, let's talk over text, and then having a conversation.
That's a good plan.
So on top of like fighting over text, I think another problem is when you just don't reply.
Yeah.
So like say your spouse and you have had an argument, or you're in conflict with each other, and then you send a text to each other, to someone, and it just they ghost you. They don't reply. That's like a passive aggressive way to say, I'm not happy with you. It
really is. I mean, we do communication with couples. We coach them through, and that's really withdrawing, right? When you're in conflict, that's something that somebody would do, and they would just shut down, but you're doing it digitally. You're like, I'm going to punish you by not replying.
I'm sending you a message without sending a message.
And I think that gives way to another thing, they call it subtext hunting. Right? So you are either like, you don't get that text and your mind starts spinning, or they send you something and you're like,
You overanalyze.
You're trying to read between the lines. You're overanalyzing it.
Yeah, you're reading into things that are not even there.
They're not even there.
I wonder what they meant when they said.
You know what they meant? They meant like they're driving, they're in the car, they have 30 seconds to send you a text, or not at all, ghost you. That's what happens.
I think women do this a little bit more, maybe not. Some men do this too, but like with guys, usually we just mean what we say. And so then you're going, well, that word and that structure must mean this. He must be thinking this or feeling this, or vice versa. She must be thinking or feeling the way she said this and put the period here and that emoji. Oh my goodness. And you're totally overanalyzing.
And this is the problem, right? This is why the bulk of our communication cannot be digital, because you can't hear their tone of voice. You can't see their face. You can't always read what's actually going on in the entire atmosphere perspective of that person. Now it's time to break this down biblically and practically. What does the Word of God...
That's what we do.
That's what we do. What does the Word of God have to say about this subject? And I love what Proverbs 15:1 says. A gentle answer or a text message, right? Text message reply turns away wrath, but a harsh word
Or
stirs.
harsh text message.
Reply stirs up anger. So how do we, with this in mind, how do we use our words, even if they're via text, right? Even if they're via email, all these digital communications to actually build our spouse up, to build our marriage up, instead of tear them down little by little by not using the right exclamation points.
Well, I think the first tip would be this, and all the type A people are going to be upset with
They're
this
gonna be
tip.
ticked off at you.
But we need to go with clarity over speed.
Ooh.
And just understand,
Say it again.
let's just be clear. Don't just send a quick answer, because you could say something harsh you will later regret. And it goes along with this tip is don't have emotionally charged conversations via text message. Yeah. So many things can go wrong or be misunderstood.
Absolutely. I also think, what do you think about an intentional emoji that can convey tone?
I've got to be honest with this. I have a problem with men sending emojis.
You hate emojis.
I do. I sometimes do it because it's easy to say something to a friend where you're kind of zinging them a little and then just put a little emoji of the laughing with tears coming down and you're just like, oh, all is better in the world.
I think it can help convey tone a little bit. You know, if you throw a little heart emoji in there, it can soften the blow. Tip number 2 is use emojis for your advantage. A well-placed emoji can convey tone. Now, this is not what you're saying earlier. This is not an entire conversation in emojis. Nobody needs that in their life. But, hey, I love you, we're good, throw a heart emoji in there. It really softens the blow.
But what kind of heart do you throw in? You throw a white heart, a purple heart, a red heart?
I'm twitching.
Are you trying to say love?
I need an entire class on heart emojis. Here's where I get confused, okay? Is the red heart emoji, I put it like on an Instagram post one time and I had one of the Gen Zers DM me. They're like, oh, don't do that. Like everyone's gonna think you're in love with them. And I'm like, really? Really? Heart, what's this? So I've defaulted, my default is a yellow heart. It's like a friendship heart, right? A friendship color. But now there's white, which is cool. I don't know if I'm cool enough to use like the white heart emoji.
I think that just means you're white.
No, it doesn't.
I think it does.
It's not a racial thing.
Maybe. There's a white and a brown one.
There's a brown one.
I don't know. Here's my point of all
Clearly
this.
not the one to help me in that.
I hate emojis, especially if you're a man. Okay, men sending emojis to other men, especially, we gotta stop that. I know what you're saying, though.
Yes, come on, you do.
What you're doing is saying you could say something a little bit harsher and soften it with a little laugh cry emoji.
Yeah,
right.
Or you can convey a little bit of tone.
Yeah. Okay. So tip number 2: use the right emoji. Sometimes you don't know. You better know what emoji you're sending, though, if you're going to use the right one.
True. Last tip is when in doubt, clarify.
Clarity is king.
Clarity is king and queen. So ask a question. Hey, did you mean this when you said this?
Ooh, that's so good.
I mean, it's just...
You give the person the benefit of the doubt.
Give them the benefit of the doubt and give yourself permission not to spin out emotionally the rest of the afternoon. I can't believe he did that. And you just misunderstood it, right?
Did you mean to send me a question mark, exclamation point, question mark?
Ooh.
And was that supposed to be yelling at me, harsh tone?
No.
Or did you just accidentally send you something?
I was just confused and sent multiple punctuation marks. There you go. Problem solved.
I feel good about that.
So now it's time for the espresso round. We're going to ask each other a few questions about this subject. Is it okay, or should we be doing this as a couple?
Fair.
Number 1 is it okay to text someone else and be on your phone while you're engaging in a real conversation with your spouse?
I want you to think about that for a second. What kind of message is this sending me right now? You know what you're saying to that person? I realize that phone is on your mind, right? I realize that if you don't respond right then, it's going to be in the back of your brain. But what you're saying to your spouse is this person, this conversation here.
On this phone
right here,
more important than you.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
And if that's not what you're saying, put the dang phone
down.
down, guys. Put it down.
So, Megan Rhea, what is the best way to apologize via text?
I think the best way to apologize via text is to know that your apology is via text is a great inroad. That is not the entirety of your apology, right? I think you can talk it out. You can say, I'm so sorry. You take a minute, you reflect. You be heartfelt with it, right? But then when you actually see that person face to face, you have a conversation and you talk it through in a safe way that makes them feel like you're not blowing them off and that hurt was important to you too.
Yeah, I like when you send me, I'm sorry, with a broken heart emoji.
That's never happened. Ever. What's a quick way to brighten each other's day via text?
What is a quick way to brighten each other's day via text? I love when you just text me out of the blue, love you. And what you do is you give me like a few really encouraging words.
Aww.
So proud of the man you are. You're doing such a great job at work. You're such a great man. You do those things that build me up and I go, makes me feel alive. How about you?
I love, and I'm going to spill your secret here, but I know that you have an alarm on your phone set to text me twice a week.
I do.
And you'll just send me an out of the blue to me, but not to him because it's a reminder in his phone to text Megan something sweet. And it's always just a real short encouragement, something very specific, which I love. And that's a good way to use communication, not for the entirety of the communication of your marriage, but to bolster the communication that you already have. And now it's time for
Spill the Beans. This week, Megan has a story she wants to spill on this topic where she accidentally sent a message to me to a different Chris.
Not to him. I thought it was him. Here's the danger of your contacts in your phone. If you have someone of your spouse's name listed right next to your spouse, you may accidentally send them something you don't want. Our great friend Chris, who we both have a good friendship with, he's like a brother to me. One night, Chris and I were about to go on a date, and I may have sent my husband a sweet little, not inappropriate, romantic.
Looking forward to.
Tonight, yeah, and it was not, like I said, inappropriate, but it was not something I would send to anyone but my husband. Hit send, look, sent it to the other Chris that's stored in my phone, and then all of the breath went out of my lungs. And this was before, you guys, Apple came out with a brilliant ability to delete or edit your texts. It was just out there in the world, and you couldn't unsee it.
Very funny moment.
It was very funny. I 2.5 seconds later said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to be inappropriate. That's for my husband. And he commenced with laugh emoji, laugh emoji, laugh emoji. You're good. You're good.
Good use of the emoji.
Excellent use of the emoji.
So now it's time to brew on this, where we leave you with one final thought, and it's this. Try to put yourself in your spouse's shoes when texting each other.
Yes.
Be kind, realize tone and meaning can be confused, and text with a purpose.
I love it.
Text with love in mind and cheerfully, and giving the person the benefit of the doubt. So that's all we have for you today. We would encourage you to go ahead and like this video. Leave a comment below if you have any interesting texting stories or comments regarding text styles.
Yes, I would love to hear all your digital communication stories in the comments.
And don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you leave. And if you're interested, Megan and I have a marriage course that we've put together for couples who want to take their marriage from roommates to romance. You can get it by clicking the link below on our website. So have a great day, everyone. And remember, life and love, way too important to live on autopilot.
We'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Oh.